Look at Bogo. He's standing in the town square, fists clenched, face red, veins bulging from his forehead. He's staring at a billboard. The billboard shows another caveman, let's call him Rich Bogo, standing on top of a mountain of gold coins, wearing a tailored suit, smiling. And what does our Bogo do? He picks up a rock. He throws it at the billboard. Then another. Then another. He's screaming. He's furious. He wants Rich Bogo to fall. He wants that mountain to crumble. He doesn't want to climb it. He wants to destroy it. This is not a political stance. This is not a moral principle. This is biology. And it's costing Bogo everything. You see, Bogo thinks he's standing up for justice. He thinks he's fighting inequality. He thinks he's on the side of fairness. But his brain, his 250,000-year-old brain, isn't processing economics. It's processing survival. And right now, Rich Bogo looks like a threat, not a teacher, not an opportunity, a threat. Let me explain what's actually happening inside Bogo's skull. Deep in his limbic system, in a tiny almond-shaped cluster of neurons called the amygdala, an alarm is going off. Rich Bogo has more resources. Rich Bogo has more status. Rich Bogo has more bananas. And in the ancestral environment, the African savanna, where Bogo's brain was built, that was dangerous, because resources were finite. If one member of the tribe hoarded all the meat, the rest of the tribe starved. If one hunter kept all the berries, children died. Evolution didn't reward the humans who said, good for him. Evolution rewarded the humans who said, kill the hoarder. So Bogo's brain installed a software program, a program anthropologists call the leveling mechanism, and psychologists call tall poppy syndrome. It's the instinct to cut down anyone who rises too high, to punish anyone who accumulates too much, to enforce equality, not through elevation but through destruction, and it's still running, right now, in Bogo's head. Every time he sees a Tesla, every time he sees a private jet, every time he sees someone on Instagram with a yacht, his amygdala screams, resource threat. His body floods with cortisol, his muscles tense, his pupils dilate, and his brain whispers, destroy him. But here's the problem. Bogo doesn't live in a hunter-gatherer tribe anymore. He lives in a market economy, and in a market economy, wealth is not zero-sum. Rich Bogo didn't steal those gold coins from Bogo. He created value. He solved a problem. He built a product. He took a risk, and the market rewarded him. The mountain of gold didn't shrink Bogo's pile. It just existed separately. But Bogo's brain can't process that, because his brain was built for a world where all resources were shared, where all food was communal, where all status was relative, and where inequality meant someone was cheating. So Bogo throws rocks. He votes for policies that punish success. He celebrates when billionaires lose money. He feels a dopamine rush when he sees a rich person get cancelled. He tells himself it's about fairness, but it's not. It's about an ancient emotional program designed to protect the tribe from hoarders. Except there are no hoarders. There's just people who played a different game and won. Now let's talk about what this instinct is doing to Bogo's bank account. Because here's the brutal truth. Every hour Bogo spends hating Rich Bogo is an hour he doesn't spend learning from Rich Bogo. Every ounce of energy he pours into resentment is energy he doesn't pour into growth. His brain is so focused on tearing down the mountain that it never asks, how was the mountain built? And that question, that single question, is worth more than every rock Bogo will ever throw. Because Rich Bogo didn't get lucky. He didn't cheat. He didn't inherit it all. He learned something. He saw an opportunity. He delayed gratification. He took a risk. He failed 17 times and tried an 18th. And Bogo, our Bogo, could do the same thing. But he won't, because his leveling mechanism won't let him. Because his brain has convinced him that the only way to feel better is to make Rich Bogo feel worse. This is what psychologists call inequality aversion. It's the primate instinct to punish anyone who gains more than the group average. And it shows up everywhere. In experiments, capuchin monkeys will reject food if they see another monkey get better food. They'd rather starve than tolerate inequality. Chimpanzees will destroy their own rewards if it means another chimp doesn't get more. And humans will vote against their own financial interests if it means billionaires pay more taxes, even if those taxes don't benefit them, even if those taxes slow economic growth, even if it makes everyone poorer. Because fairness, perceived fairness, feels better than prosperity. But here's what Bogo doesn't realize. The economy is not a giant pile of bananas, it's a banana tree, And rich Bogo didn't take Bogo's bananas. He planted more trees. He made the whole forest bigger. And if Bogo spent less time throwing rocks and more time learning how to plant trees, he'd have his own mountain. But his brain won't let him see that, because his brain is stuck in the Pleistocene, where resources were fixed, where status was relative, and where the only way to win was to make sure nobody else won too much. Let's get even more specific about the neurochemistry of envy. When Bogo sees rich Bogo's success, his anterior cingulate cortex lights up. That's the same brain region that processes physical pain, literally. Seeing someone else succeed hurts Bogo the same way a punch to the gut hurts him. And when rich Bogo fails, when his stock crashes, when his company goes bankrupt, Bogo's ventral striatum activates. That's the pleasure center, the same region that lights up when he eats chocolate, or has sex, or wins the lottery. Bogo's brain is getting a neurochemical reward for watching other people suffer, and it's getting punished for watching other people succeed. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. Evolution designed it this way, because in a zero-sum tribal environment, your gain was my loss, and my brain needed to feel good about stopping you. But we don't live in tribes anymore. We live in cities, in nations, in a global economy where someone in California can create wealth without taking a single dollar from someone in Kansas, where a programmer in Seattle can build an app that makes 1 billion people's lives easier and get paid for it. And yet Bogo's brain still treats every success story like a betrayal, like theft, like an attack on his survival. And here's the tragedy. The people Bogo hates the most are often the people who could help him the most. The entrepreneur who built a business could teach him how to start one. The investor who made millions in the stock market could show him the strategy. The author who sold a bestseller could explain the process. But Bogo never asks, because asking feels like surrender, like admitting that rich Bogo deserves the mountain, and Bogo's pride, his evolutionary pride, won't allow that. So he stays poor and angry and convinced that the system is rigged, when really the only thing that's rigged is his own brain. So what's the solution? How does Bogo escape this mental trap? Step 1. Recognize the program. When you feel rage at someone's success, pause, ask yourself, is this person actually hurting me, or is my amygdala just freaking out because someone has more bananas than I do? Step 2. Redirect the energy. Instead of asking, why does he have so much? Ask, how did he get so much? Instead of tearing down, learn, model, replicate. Step 3. Remember the truth about wealth. In a free market, wealth is not stolen, it's created, and creation doesn't shrink your pie, it bakes more pies. Step 4. Practice gratitude for other people's success. I know that sounds like self-help nonsense, but it works, because gratitude activates the prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, the part that can override the amygdala, the part that can say, his win is not my loss. Bogo doesn't need to destroy rich Bogo, he needs to become him, or at least learn from him, because the leveling mechanism doesn't build mountains, it just flattens them, and in a flat world, nobody wins.